Making a website. Why? Because websites are still trusted by the majority of people. Some people will discover your game by Googling. It doesn't matter how many links you send around, they will just try to Google it. And they might land either on your crowdfunding campaign, if it's already online, or your website at some point. So your website is useful for a variety of reasons. For example, having all your media in one place, translating the campaign, we'll see some example in a moment, collecting emails from people, from pop-ups, for example, or forms, redirecting people from your website to the campaign if the campaign is on, hosting a press kit that is very useful when you want people to do some coverage of your game, and as a shop when the campaign is over and you need some kind of strategy to sell your game afterward. How do you do a website? Now, of course, this would require a separate course, but here's a couple of pointers. There are a couple of easy ways. I would suggest that you try at least to explore the offer of Squarespace and Wix if you want a very simple website. They allow you to create quite pretty websites and very fast websites with very little understanding of coding. You actually don't need very much. It's mostly drag and drop and changing some options. They're quite equivalent. I've been using more Squarespace, but Wix is also a very strong competitor. And then there are three more ways that I would suggest you. So one is that you install WordPress somewhere. You can install it in your own server. You can have it hosted somewhere. There are services that make this process pretty easy. For example, I use one called Dreampress. You can do a custom website. This requires usually some coding skills, which you might not have at the moment. And there are various technologies you can use there, but that becomes quite complicated, and I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't recommend that if you don't know what you're doing. And then there's a hybrid solution where you have some part of your website, for example, on WordPress, and some part of the website on some external hosting services. And I will show you an example in a moment, because that's what I do actually. Suggestions that are valid pretty much for everything. When the campaign is on, you can use banners or do a takeover. A takeover means that your website gets reskinned as the campaign or even redirects immediately to the campaign. I wouldn't recommend that it redirects immediately, but you should make sure that if people come to your website first, they know that there's something else going on. You need to make sure that the solution you selected can handle a shop and taxes. It's very important that the shop is multilingual, especially if you are trying to sell to other countries. For example, one issue that we are encountering is that our shop has been in Italian for a long time, and now we need to make sure we can ship also, first of all, we can sell games in English, but also we can ship all over the world. And that becomes very quickly complicated with taxes. European Union handles them in a certain way, US handle them in a different way, and you need to make sure that in the background the website is able to calculate shipping, first of all, and the taxes, the right taxes for the right location. Because if it doesn't do that, you're making your life very difficult with the tax office later on. As I mentioned, you need to consider if you need more than one language. Is English enough, or do you want it to offer it in some other languages? You know that, of course, the more languages you have, the more your audience can expand. But then you also have to consider in which languages you are publishing your games. If your game is available only in English, probably it's fine if you have the store just in English. Of course, it should be responsive. I think nowadays is pretty much a standard. It should work well on mobile. Most of the people nowadays surf on mobile. I don't think most of the people buy on mobile, but they use the mobile to check things out and then probably When they need to make a purchase, they prefer to do it from desktop. But keep in mind that some people don't even have a desktop anymore, or a laptop, or whatever. Many people just work with smartphones and tablets at this point. So when you have a website, you should give people a reason to leave their contacts, their email. So you can subscribe them to some kind of newsletter. Of course, you need content for that newsletter. It cannot be just promotion, or people will get tired pretty quickly. But for example, they could sign up if you have blog posts where you send news or offer some free downloads about your game. And yeah, remember that when your campaign is over, the website is going to be the main outlet for your games, where you will present the games, where people will learn about them. So you need to kind of plan accordingly. Now I want to show you a couple of things that we've been doing so that you get an idea what's possible. One would be our website at the moment, and the other one would be how do we use external services to host pages that look like our website. So let's quickly switch to that. Okay, so we can start from the website first. Our website is available in Italian and English. The default page is Italian just because we have more content. I can show you the English one in a second, but just for you to get an idea, for example, now we have the late pledge of Broken Tales is still going on. So as you can see, I have a big banner here at the top. There's a little presentation here about our company. We will see it in English soon. Here there's a link to the shop. We don't have this yet in the English section because the English shop will open in a while. Probably, I don't know when you're gonna watch this. It might be open by the time you watch it, but at the moment the shop is active only on the Italian side. There's a form where people can sign up to our newsletter, and immediately they get a 10% discount on whatever we have in our catalog. I think this has been working pretty well for people to sign up. We have like the main, I use this tile here usually to advertise the main thing that is going on right now. There's the late pledge of Broken Tales available. So we have Broken Tales here, but according to the period, this will change to highlight something specific. Then we have more information about other projects. And here there is stuff from our shop that kind of changes randomly, and people can see what's on offer without even entering this tile from the shop. And at the bottom we have more information about the projects and some stuff from our blog. And if you want to read more, you just go to the blog section and you can see there's 19 pages of blog posts. So we've been doing quite a bit of things. I want to show you very briefly the English side because it's slightly different. So okay, here again we have the banner for the late pledge. While I'm recording this, we're about 1 month away from closing it. So it's still worth pointing it out to people that, okay, if they want this stuff or some of the exclusives, they need to do it now. Then pretty much what I mentioned before, a presentation. There's a way to join our Discord. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, we don't have the discount here because the store for the English side is not open yet. As you can see, there's a tile missing here. But we're also advertising Broken Tales because it's the most recent thing. These are a couple of international projects. We're gonna add more as the months go. And here our blog posts, they are different from what you've seen on the other side because we do not translate everything into English. It's a bit simpler, but I think it does the job. Here we have a menu with more interesting things, a bit more details about our international games, download page, who are we, and how you can get in touch with us. Now I want to show you something else, and okay, this looks a bit like our website. It is not our website. If you see the address, it is a subdomain of our website. We used a service called MailerLite that also allows to have landing pages to translate the campaign. We use it for many things, but in this case is to translate the Broken Tales campaign, because the main campaign is in English, but I wanted to make sure that Italian customers that do not read English that well could also understand what was going on. So it's basically a replica of the campaign. I was updating this almost every day during the campaign. It's slightly behind compared to the main page because it's really difficult to do it in two languages at the same time when there's so much stuff happening. But it does translate most of the content for people to follow if they are not used to English. Okay, so you can definitely use other services to host pages that look like your website. And another use of this, always done with MailerLite, it's a landing page for the quick start. It's much easier to do it this way because because the service, it's a newsletter service in practice. All the addresses here are directly recorded into that database, so it kind of works. But even here, as you can see, the URL is a subdomain of our main website, so you can set it up that way. And well, I did some updates here because now the late pledge is open, but there is a small presentation of the project, what you can get with a quick start. If you sign up here, you also get the soundtrack, blah blah blah, and yes, you could download the quick start from here, basically signing up here. And that's pretty much what we do.